What's going on, FUD Nation, and welcome back to another episode of FUD TV. I apologize sincerely for my absence over the past few weeks. I was actually undergoing surgery yesterday in my jaw, which is why I have this lovely chipmunk swelling going on in my cheek. And of course, I get to miss out on what is the most fun, most interesting, most important day in cryptocurrency in the past 2 years or something like that, since 2017, really like a year and change. But at the same time, it's big stuff going on, really exciting stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about what we think may have caused this excitement, as well as just get through a whole bunch of news. A quick shout out to the team at Ledger who hooked me up with a great gift bag the other day, a t-shirt, this really amazing special edition Satoshi Nakamoto white paper Ledger. It was really cool of them. So thank you over to the team at Ledger. But obviously the big story right now is that anyone who has bought crypto over the past few months is sitting pretty on a lot of gains. So let's get to this, and without any further ado, we're gonna start with the charts. And of course, the charts are something that we would kind of love to skip over throughout this bear market period because it was just so boring and it was usually generally down. But for what feels like the first time in oh so long, the charts have a lot to say. Now, of course, if we're looking over here at the weekly chart, almost all these charts look, somewhat similar, obviously not Tether, but everything's just had this massive surge starting about 72 hours ago. It's all just a big deal. For me, crossing over that $4,300 resistance for Bitcoin, it was just huge. It can't be overstated, but at the same time, I'm not a technical analyst per se, and so I'm going to be bringing on my good friend Crown tomorrow to let us know what he thinks this all really means. But at the same time, it's okay to be excited. We can see that we've really broken out of this trend, but again, is it sustainable? I'm not sure. Obviously, we know that the big resistance here is at 6K. So if we get above 6K, we'll know that we're on like Donkey Kong here, this sort of $6,400 range. That's when things are starting to look, like they're not really slowing down. However, right now we can be excited. This $4,300 resistance or something was looking like it was never going to get broken. And of course, we have these articles here where, you can just see there was a lot of liquidations here, short squeeze as they call it, where there was a lot of shorts in the market. People thought that Bitcoin was going to drop. I don't know if you remember, but I interviewed, both Crown and Mike from Bloomberg would always say that, the market needs to get short before it can really go up, meaning the more shorts that are on the market, it can create this sort of jet fuel propulsion for the price upwards. And that's exactly what happened. And so, is this sustainable? I don't know. Is this going to continue? I don't know. But are we excited? This is probably the most exciting day that I can remember. I tried to make a video yesterday, but I was just so messed up from the surgery. So, here we are. But let's go back into these charts because there's really a lot going on. And I want to get through some of the big gainers, the coins that just have me really excited and have some, have me raising my eyebrow a bit. One of those, of course, is Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash sort of has gone through so many ebbs and flows. They've had their split, they've had their internal wars, and then we see it literally just flying like a phoenix from the ashes. Just going into this chart, looking at Bitcoin Cash, I mean, just wow. And full disclosure, I do not hold any Bitcoin Cash. I sort of got rid of it. I had, a little bit holding on, but I just really started not to believe in, the overall direction of the project, over all the different ebbs and flows it had gone through. And we see that Bitcoin Cash has gone down here as low as $100, under $100, $81, and now it's sitting up here at $300. I mean, so that's pretty monstrous. If you bought any BCH on that super dip, I know that I was not a buyer of BCH, but I was a big buyer of Ontology. Ontology now, obviously, if you remember back when I interviewed June Lee, was sitting at about 70 cents, and it's now here at $1.50. I'm really happy with my Ontology. One of the things that I love about Ontology too, and if you were lucky here to get buying in where I was buying in between this 50 and 60 cent range, that was what I think of as probably some of the best buys I can remember making. Anyone knows this channel knows that I absolutely love Ontology. And one of the things that I love about Ontology is it produces a gas token that goes along with the Ontology token. So if you're holding ONT, you'll be getting gas. So it's not just the price gains that you're getting this gas token. And at a certain point, a couple of months back, the gas token was trading on Binance for equal to one Ontology. So you were essentially getting, free ontologies. I think it's evened out a bit. I think the gas token's down to about 70 cents. Actually, I have to check that. Anyway, I ended up checking and I got essentially in 9 months or so, I had been given about 10% of my total Ontology holdings in gas. So I had gotten a ton of gas that I then converted at that 1-to-1 rate back into Ontology. So I essentially got a 10% bonus on my Ontology. And now Ontology has literally pumped 3x from when I was buying. I'm very, very, very excited about that. So this is one of my favorite coins on the market for a variety of reasons. Go watch my interview with Jun Lee if you want more sort of convincing on why Ontology is a monster. Not the biggest gainer of the day by any means. We also have, of course, at the top of this list, Dogecoin. And, Dogecoin, if you didn't know, got shouted out by Elon Musk. We'll click on this article. Elon Musk reveals his favorite crypto. Hint, it's not Bitcoin. And he just says, Dogecoin is my fave cryptocurrency. It's pretty cool. I don't know if this is just, deep trolling, because Elon Musk has certainly been on the troll game of recent. He released a rap song about Harambe, that gorilla that got shot that turned into a meme. I can't really take this guy seriously. His savvy on the internet is tremendously high. He hosted Meme Review on PewDiePie's channel. I can't tell whether he's joking or being serious at any time. But at any rate, if you're buying into the Elon Musk hype, it's Dogecoin. But no matter what, I think what I want to reassert here is that the top coins, these top 10 coins, are going to, have great pumps with the market. I mean, look at Cardano. Cardano had a huge fall. It was once over $1, well over $1. And now, at a certain point, it was under 3 cents. And that's a big, big fall. Now it's pumping like crazy, back up to, at one point it was over 10 cents. We're seeing EOS do really well. And it sort of reinforces that the companies, the projects that have really strong market makers behind their project, they're going to market make those market makers. And so, those projects that you might be invested into, the ones that have a lot of capital behind them, the ones that have a lot of support, those are probably going to do quite well. Look at Binance. It's just looking really healthy from these coins that have strong backgrounds. But then again, the whole top 100 is drenched in green. It's a beautiful thing. I don't think I've ever seen such a beautiful day since 2017. I'm sure there's some days like this in 2018, but not like this. Not like this. Litecoin, of course, is a total standout. And Litecoin's really just been catching my attention a lot because if you rewind, Litecoin really led the market in 2015 out of the bear slump. They say history doesn't repeat itself, but it sure rhymes. And this is certainly rhyming right now with, if you see this this tremendous pop that Litecoin's had, they had their sort of sideline plateau here. And I apologize for my internet being a little slow right now. I don't know what's going on. But they had this really sideways plateau here around $52. And then it, bottomed out here around $24. And then now we're up here at, 90. Did he get up to 93? Oh my God, Litecoin's at $93. Wow. Wow. Litecoin is a rocket right now. And yeah, you could put a lot of things behind this, but at the same time, Litecoin's one of the original coins, very decentralized, has a big mining network, and it's very exciting to see, these old trusted true coins really come back. It's also one of the coins that's most easily bought from institutional perspective. So if I'm a big bank and I want to turn on some cryptocurrency investments, I can go to Coinbase, I can go to Gemini, I can go to some OTC or institutional avenues, and Litecoin is almost always available for purchase there. So same with Bitcoin Cash, same with Bitcoin, same with Ethereum. These are the sort of blue chip coins that are going to be more readily available. So I think that could explain something with Litecoin, but at the same time, Litecoin fam, congrats to you. It's really popping off. Now for some news. We have word here that VeChain is partnering with the world's largest home appliance manufacturers, earning $40 billion in annual revenue. Here's the thing about this. And it's not necessarily even about this partnership because VeChain has a lot of partnerships and some of those are more true than others. VeChain has a rich history of putting out partnership news only when things look really bullish. And that's what makes me very bullish right now, is seeing that altcoins are really unleashing a lot of news right now. And when altcoins, and specifically VeChain, unleash a lot of news, we know that things can start to look really bullish. Speaking of which, there's another big piece of news with VeChain, and essentially it's that they've bought out Ambrosis, which was one of my other favorite coins in the supply chain logistics industry. VeChain GmbH is the new name for Ambrosis Technologies GmbH, and that the founder and managing partner of Ambrosis is now in charge of VeChain GmbH, and that there's some, I guess, rumors going around where Sunny Liu, who's the head of VeChain, is not making any, big statements, but there's a lot of rumors going around that VeChain has just bought out Ambrosis. and I will confirm this as soon as I can. But again, bullish things for VeChain. And whenever you see VeChain putting out news, again, it's always during these big pump months. So I'm hoping that this is a sign that we're going to get some true bullishness, because VeChain was the king of putting out some insane news while things were really pumping. And I still have very high hopes for this project. Now, you may or may not have already heard this, but Bitcoin's big pump yesterday actually influenced a NASDAQ stock, Riot Blockchain, which is of course a blockchain company that is heavily involved in Bitcoin mining or mining in general. And they had a 20% pump that was a result of the Bitcoin move. So it just shows you that, these winds are blowing into mainstream environments as well. And that's what's very exciting, is to see that this time around, there's so many more financial instruments and institutions, intertwined with the crypto sphere, that there's going to be farther reaching implications when Bitcoin goes up or down. And so this is very, very exciting. And it makes me more excited that the world will really take notice as things start to progress in this Bitcoin movement. I'm a big believer that once we hit 20,000 again, things will just, the disbelief will be so high, the amount of FOMO will be out of control. However, on our way up there, we might see a lot more interest than I had originally believed. I think as we cross 6K, as we cross 6,500, that'll be a big telling signal. As we cross 10K, 11K, 12K, those sort of resistance markers that we couldn't get over back when we first crashed down in January of 2018, those will be big moments. But of course, once we hit 20K, your grandma's going to be buying Bitcoin again. Of course, we have Brian Kelly over at CNBC saying that the price could get as high as 6,500 during the present run. I think that obviously that's a safe thing to say. Usually CNBC's overly bullish or overly bearish, but I think it's fair and it's just, and it's probably true, because it's unlikely that we'll bust through 6,500 without any resistance. I mean, that was the biggest support for 2-3 months back in fall. So if we just bust through that, that would surprise me. I think there's going to be a little bit of a fight around that area. I think a lot of traders will see that as a good trade to take a downward trade off of 6,500 or sell on 6,500 or 62, whatever. So if we bust through that, I'm just extremely bullish. In the end, I try to swim with the whales. I certainly don't have $800 million or anything to be throwing around in this market. If I did, I could be causing some price pumps of my own, but that's not the level of finance I'm working with. So swimming with the whales and understanding the motion of the ocean is critical. Puerto Rico now has its first crypto bank accepting deposits, and we've heard these crypto banks sort of popping up. It's going to be a part of the ecosystem. I know that crypto, the sort of cypherpunk initial movement was about getting rid of the banks. I don't think that that's how crypto is going to get implemented. I don't think banks will become obsolete. I think they'll change the way that they operate significantly, maybe eliminate a lot of waste. But crypto banks, people don't want to necessarily take care of their own money. So I think it's going to be an important aspect of the way this ecosystem evolves. Coinbase apparently has $255 million of its customers' money insured, which is a big step forward. I mean, if you have your money on Coinbase, it's kind of like having it in a bank. At the same time, a lot of people don't like Coinbase. I think it's, they've done a good job of keeping the customer funds secure. And, we'll see if they can continue to be a leader in being that fiat to crypto on-ramp, off-ramp that they have been. I certainly would say that they've been the leader. And to me, I'm not quite sure who's going to replace them yet. We have Cash App, we have Gemini. There's a bunch of really cool people sort of circling the space, but we'll have to see who really becomes that fiat on-ramp, off-ramp, where companies and individuals are just going in and out of Bitcoin and crypto through them. So good job, Coinbase. And then there's also the fact that they're expanding into cross-border remittance payments with the help of XRP and their own stablecoin, USD coin. Again, everyone's gone stablecoin crazy. Binance has gone stablecoin crazy. And the reason is stablecoins are a great business. It's essentially banking in the crypto world. And what a lot of people didn't believe in when it comes to stablecoins is whether the banks would ever allow this to happen, because banks love to do what they call fractional reserve banking, where you have only a small percentage of the funds that are actually being sort of held by the bank are actually in the bank, and they're really lending it out, and they're keeping a lot of debt as assets. Now, what we know is that who's also doing that? Tether. Tether is now, of course, backed partly by assets and partly by debt, as it says on their website. So I'd say that this trend is going to continue, and the sort of fractional banking system that we have come to know and love in the modern ecosystem, the modern banking ecosystem, is going to be alive and well in the stablecoin game. And so when you see stablecoins and they say they're backed, I think pull back the layers, look under the hood, because I think a lot of these are going to start being backed partly by assets and partly by debt, of course, because if you have hundreds of millions or billions of dollars in one place, Any smart money manager knows you should be lending it out and you should be reinvesting it, and to leave just billions of dollars there sitting there is not the way to actively manage money. So even if you have a backed stable coin, the temptation to manage that money in a more, I guess, proactive way is going to be there, and it's most likely going to happen at the higher levels. So this to me is not surprising, and again, it just shows that there's just going to be a lot of competition here in using crypto assets, in especially stable coins, in this first generation of crypto, before we get, a Bitcoin that has stabilized at, $500,000 or something. Well, that's it from you guys. I'm sorry for my absence. I've been working so hard on my D-app. There's just so many things. I'm now managing a pretty significant team, and so I have every day just so many things I need to do late at night, early in the morning, and it just helped to really have that clarity and just go to work on my project. But now that things are heating up again, I have a duty to be here with you guys, and I will make sure to have some great content coming up. I'm having a chat with Crown in the next day or two. I'm having a chat with Roger Ver of Bitcoin Cash soon. I've got a lot more interviews coming up and a lot more specific topics coming up that I want to talk about, including my own personal portfolio that I'm holding as we go into the bull market and why I'm holding these coins. So thank you so much for watching. Again, shout out to the team at Ledger for the goodie box. I really appreciate it. If you guys don't have a Ledger, there's a link in the description below. FUD TV's back. It feels like crypto's back, and we have a lot more exciting things to show you, including the release of my very own first D-app game ecosystem that I couldn't be more excited to debut. So hold tight, we'll be back very soon. If you enjoyed this episode, leave me a like, leave me a comment, and of course, if you're not subscribed to FUD TV, hit that sub button. I'm Elio Trades, you're watching FUD TV, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.